Hey everybody, this is Chad Daniels, and you have landed in the middle of somewhere. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for coming back. Across from me, as always, is the guy that gave me his gambling account to use, and now I'm poor. It's Cyrus Amundson.
I don't gamble. I'd like to put that on camera.
That's why he gave it to me.
Gambler. Yes, I passed it on to you.
Yeah, because you're no longer doing that.
Yeah. So, hi.
Hey.
We're in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
We're on location if you're watching us on YouTube, and we had a microphone issue before the show. So now you and I are hand-holding mics that normally go in stands. It feels like I'm holding a soda can.
Well, it feels more like a normal dick because microphones, it's almost like you're grabbing a wine glass and you have to be so gentle with them, and now you can really
get in
and just fucking hang on
and hold it.
Yeah.
I spent a good portion of the morning. I think Cody's going to kill himself because so we've been setting up for an amount of time that, not short.
Yeah, the mental fortitude of young Cody is pretty incredible. I mean, I just think like going for a walk with you is one thing.
Yeah.
But then having to do stuff that involves chords.
Yeah. And these are not tangled.
I walked in here and it wasn't going great.
Yeah.
Because there was a hum on one of the microphones, and then two people that work here at the club that were nice enough to be down here and helping gave you a suggestion, and you said, I had an idea, and it isn't this. I want my idea to work. And I thought, yep, that's a middle child.
If you're not telling me that you should recognize the autism in that and just give me a little bit of a pause on a guy who has an idea and pushes it through. Now, I will say those two people who were the beloved Ran and the beloved Mikey Kurtz, they did, like Mikey especially, was very helpful setting this up and suffered through. I don't know where Unskinny Bop got in my head this morning. Unskinny Bop.
Yeah.
It's been in there. And I can't stop thinking about how funny. So I looked up while I was struggling this morning when I needed a little break. So I needed a little emotional stimulation break.
Yeah.
So Unskinny Bop came out in 90. Because my guess was, do you remember the song by Poison?
Of course I do.
Yeah, of course. You probably.
I think the reason it's in your head.
One of your kids probably loved it.
I think that's fucked up. I think I was a freshman in high school. One of the...
They let 28-year-olds be freshmen in your high school?
Yeah. That's how all TV shows work.
Yes, correct.
This club makes you think of Robert Hawkins. At least it makes me think of Robert Hawkins. And he used to do that. He'd always have the... like the scatting going on. And then there's a guy, Josh Sneed, hilarious. Yeah. And he's a Cincinnati guy. And they were friends, and then Hawkins would always see him and be like, Sneed-diddy-bop. So I think that's why.
So maybe the ghost of Hawkins' spirit,
yeah,
he's still alive.
Still with us.
But his comedic spirit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's possible. It's fun that my guess was, because I wasn't, of any coming of age when Unskinny Bop came out. And I was like, this feels like the last song. It feels like Nirvana and Pearl Jam were like half in the door. And they were like, we got to try something. Unskinny Bop Bop.
Yeah.
And like, if you look on the time, it's not a long distance in between Unskinny Bop and Smells Like Teen Spirit. I think it's months.
Well, there's a Rolling Stone put out a list of song names and then what the song was called before they officially moved it to that. And Unskinny Bop was just I Fuck Fat Girls. And they were like, well, we can't do that because they'll never play it on the radio.
What if I Unskinny Bopped it? So, speaking of terrible voices and impressions, because that sounds nothing like Bret Michaels. For some reason, that's a guy who does voiceover for like jazz-themed chicken restaurants in the South. Come get your Unskinny Bop down. We got chicken they're hot.
Bret Michaels now, he sounds like this. Sorry, I just walked down 3 stairs. Looks like somebody's going to have to unskinny bop me.
Yeah, he looks like he has he has succumbed to the poison. Yeah. So let's talk about Denver, because I have to tell you something that happened last night before I came here, but it all goes back to Denver.
Okay, there's Fort Collins.
Fort Collins. I always say Denver. That's not fair because Fort Collins is not Denver. It's its own city.
Yeah.
But everybody who's like, if you're thinking I'm coming to Denver, I'm coming to Fort Collins. I love it there. I love David Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Maybe someday Denver, but like you're going to have to see me in Fort Collins.
I was almost in Fort Collins.
You were almost in Fort Collins.
So,
and I know a lot of people, they were very nice about it at the shows.
Yeah, you waited until I officially posted on Instagram about this show, and then decided you didn't want to do it. Now,
could we get into the fact that you posted about the show 2 days before it?
Yep.
We could get into that, but I think we should stay on your path.
But let's just say that it was game 3, the first home game.
I knew I had to set it up with a topic sentence so he could do this.
Of the Minnesota Wild
yeah.
hockey organization.
Yes.
And I had tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, listen, are we sure this show's going to happen? And you said, absolutely. And so I sold my tickets. And then
the little context isn't there. The fact that you were kind of joking, and then I said, "Well, we don't have to do the show." And then,
right, but then I wanted to.
Yeah, but we want to do the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
we love and respect each other.
And then you called me, and can I tell him the whole thing?
I would love to have you tell him the whole thing, as long as I'm allowed to insert myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you do insert yourself into Cody. So, I get a call from you, and you're not doing great.
Do you want to give the timeline? Because the show is Thursday.
You call me Wednesday.
And I'm supposed to be on the plane.
Yeah, and you say, I have diarrhea.
I did not say that.
You said...
I don't even like that word.
You said, it feels like someone's stabbing my stomach with knives. Mm-hmm. And then I thought to myself, oh, he's got diarrhea.
Yes. I think you presumed diarrhea. What I said was, I had a bathroom situation.
Right.
And it was a nightmare.
Yeah, which that's what that is for me. And I will tell you, I'm probably the first person ever to have diarrhea on their vision board to get out of this show so I could go to the hockey game. Now, I wanted to do the show, but I also wanted to go to the hockey game very badly. And I can't believe I manifested diarrhea.
So I literally, en route to climbing on the plane.
Yeah.
My body was like, And it was not like, well, I wonder if I'm going to have a little problem here. It was like, who do we need to call? Yeah. And we don't need to get deep into it here, but my wife had been on back-to-back antibiotics, which isn't a great thing. Mm-hmm. And so there was like a worry that there's like a stomach infection that can come from that. So I called our family doctor.
Yeah.
And I was like, it feels like there's knives in me, and I had a nightmare bathroom situation. And he's like, I go, can I get on the plane? And he's kind of like, you know how you ask permission from a parent, and then you go ask for, because the first person I called, I called Jen, I was like, this is not great, right? But I think it should be fine. And she goes, no, call the doctor. And now, so I need to go to a second person for permission.
Getting on a plane with diarrhea, I don't know if you've ever opened your liquids after you've been on a plane.
Yeah.
But it's like the lotion is out a little bit, your face wash has been pushed out a little bit, and I think that getting on with a diarrhea is the same thing.
So I'd like to shift
Same
away
diff.
from...
Same diff, C diff. All right.
So I go to the doctor, he's like, hey man, you're not going until we run these tests to make, he goes, and then if you don't have a fever and the stomach stuff is subsiding, you can go.
Okay.
And so, and I was like, that sounds great. All right, give me the test. And he's like, no, that's not how it works. So they send you home. I have to go to a lab.
Yeah.
Outside, because I'm not part of a hospital system. We have a private family practice like they did back in the old West.
Sure.
And
where the guy comes with his little satchel bag.
Yes, yeah. And he's like, ooh, he's a good boy.
Yes.
And so you have to go. They call it a specimen collection sample, which means
been there, done that.
You put a half moon tub over your toilet, and then you BM into it, and then you have to get the BM into the jars. And I was like, I picked the thing up, and I was like, well, where's the scoop? And I literally called LabCorp and I was like, you guys gave me the jars and no scoop. This is already a nightmare. I don't want to use like a household spoon.
Well, they're like, you have 2 scoops on the end of your arms, dipshit. Get it done.
It's way worse than that. They're like, no, unscrew the vials. And then you unscrew the vial, and it's this tiny spoon that if it was for like a Barbie, you'd be like, what's that, like a play spoon for the Barbie? It was so small.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's what you use.
One time I asked for a sample at an ice cream shop, and they gave me a sample in one of those spoons, and I was like, why don't you fucking try again? Get an adult spoon. I said I want a sample.
You don't know. I know what sample spoons you're talking about. Divide it by 8. The head of it?
That's weird math, isn't it?
The head.
He could have said anything to make it easy.
Sorry that I'm good at math.
Divide
and I know
it
how
by
big the
8.
spoon is, and then I could quickly divide it by 8.
Oh my God!
I have.
You just eyeballed that it was 1/8 of that spoon?
Yes, right now. I did it right now.
Oh my God! Play an octave.
So I had to, like, one of the jars was like, you just put a little into one thing, into some water, and you shake it up, and you want to kill yourself, and then you send that one off. And
Sure.
the second one, I pick it up, I go, okay, it's another little scoop, and they're like, oh, it's got to be 3/4 of this jar. So I'm in there. It sucked. It sucked so bad.
Yeah.
I'd like to breeze by. So the point is, all the tests came back normal. We had to miss that show.
Do you think they make it that hard because they want people?
So you will C. diff out of you and never have to take the test again?
I think what happens is they want to make sure people that are like, my tummy hurts. They're like, but I'm not shoveling shit. It doesn't hurt that bad. It kind of
Shoveling?
It kind of weeds out the people.
I'm not thimbling shit. I think somebody was like, I don't think people appreciate us here enough at the specimen lab.
Yeah.
Why don't we make that spoon 1/8 smaller than the sample size at the ice cream shops?
Well, if it was 1/8 smaller, that wouldn't work because it was, you said divide it by 8. Keep going.
Divided by 8 is 1/8.
I know, but you said 1/8 smaller.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So what? You're right. You're right.
Keep
in
going.
this one
Please keep going.
situation.
I didn't want to be right.
So we get to the tests come back clear. I go 2 days without any nightmares.
Yeah.
And Friday morning, I come to Denver. We do the shows Friday night. I forget to drink any water all day. And if you know anything about the word Chad was using, that's a dehydration highway.
Especially when you're 1 mile above sea level at this point,
Not
you
great.
dumb fuck. They tell you to drink water when you land. They always do. They go, you have to stay hydrated. Whatever you do, stay hydrated.
Yeah, I understand what happened. So, I fall asleep, and I wake up in the middle of the night with a cramp in my leg that I cannot describe. I've had it in that place before, but never at that ferocity. And normally it lasts seconds, less than a minute.
Now, hold on for a second. Was he screaming about this cramp?
No. Here, let me.
Cody?
No.
Well, I just want to know, did you have to take his arm from around you? Was it too loud when his lips were right by your ear?
I can't wait for Cody to get good enough at stand-up that you want to bring him on the road, and then you realize how great it is to have him on the road, and then you try to steal him from me, and this really becomes a custom. Actually, I hate that because he's going to choose you, but
First of all, I'm not going to have to steal him. He's going to go, I just have to carry my bag? This is awesome. I would love to do this all the time.
So, I'm cramping.
Yep.
It's fierce. And we're talking, it's going on minutes. And I'm like, oh, I have a real situation here. So I call Cody and I'm like, I'm freaking out. I'm like, you need to come help. This sucks. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. He comes in. And here's the thing. You would have to go a really long way to find something wrong with Cody. Like I think we both think he's a pretty great guy.
Yeah. Were you awake when he called you?
No. It was the middle of the night.
Okay. Did his life alert bracelet go off, or how did he actually get you to go in the room?
So, the only thing that I think is a barrier for Cody out in the real world is there's something that you have with like spatial understanding of movement, where if you go, hey, can you take this phone and set it like this? He would go, like this? and it's not right. You'd have to draw it. There's some, we all learn differently. Mm-hmm. So Cody has the right idea. He's like, I'm like, I don't know. I think you have to call the ambulance. I'm like, I don't know. I think I need an IV. I can't fix this because of like my mobility. It's like I can't like stretch really well. Everything I'm trying, I'm pushing on it. I'm stretching it. It's going terrible.
Have you tried water?
And he's like, I think it needs to stretch. And so I say to him, I show him this. I go just like this. I go, this is my foot. And my foot is down here. He's at the foot of the bed. I go, this is my foot. Mm-hmm. I go, it is cramping this direction. You need to bend it this direction. And he takes it and he goes, this direction? And I go, no. And he goes, this direction? And I go, And so now I go, don't do that either. We're just like, just let me die. Yeah. And so he kind of steps back and like I rotate a few times and eventually I think, what do you think? It was like 3-4 minutes. Yeah. It was of a nonstop cramp, which I know if you've never had cramps before, like you might not. That's a really long time.
I've had cramps.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Once a month, right?
Yeah. Do you know, sick burn?
It sucked, but it was there.
Well, I liked it. Do you think that Cody's doing the husband trick where you wash the dishes poorly?
Yes.
And then the wife is like, there's still hamburger on this, Gerald.
Do you know what I think he's doing? He's going like, carry your fucking bag one more time. This way? Do it this way? So
if you're going to get fucking brought through the airport in a wheelchair, why don't you need one? How about I break your fucking ankle?
So it eventually subsides. So I had pulled the blanket off me. And now I'm shivering, but I'm not cold. And so it starts getting worse and worse. And I'm going, well, what's this about? And so I had the stomach thing. I'm obviously some version of dehydrated. Like it was a really painful, but it's not in shock. I'm not in shock so I'm like, what am I? But I had brought, because when you're at risk of infection, so like I have a thermometer that I travel with. That's something that sucks about me.
Thermometer. Did you just finally pull the vibrator out of his ass and he stopped shaking?
So I have Cody hand me the thermometer, and I take my temperature, and it's 96.1, which is pretty low.
Yeah.
And I go, well, that's not great. I go, let's take a beat. I'm going to take again. So we wait a little bit. I take it again. It's 95.3. And I go, that's right near, like we're having a real low situation. And Cody, who's an A1 diabetic, is also of the understanding that that's not a great temperature.
Right. Do you think it was plummeting that quickly because you no longer had skin-on-skin contact from Cody? Once he got out of bed, you just got real chilly?
Yeah. I think once he pulled away from me, I didn't have his warmth, and I'm so skinny that I really hit the air quick.
Yeah, once he pulled himself off you like the fruit roll-up off of cellophane.
So I take it one more time, and it's 94.3. And so then you have a rush of adrenaline, like something's wrong, and then you can't separate that rush of adrenaline from a feeling of like faint and stuff. So sure. I'm at a point, so I say to Cody, I'm pretty calm. I will say, I was pretty calm during all this for a middle of the night plummeting temperature situation. So I handed Cody the temperature thing, and I go, here's the deal. I need you to take your temperature to make sure that this is a broken thermometer. And if in the process my eyes roll back into my head and I start quivering, you need to call someone. Sure. And I'm a little worried because of the foot thing. I'm like, do the numbers like this. Yeah. I'm concerned. But I'm expecting to hand him the thermometer and wake up in the hospital.
Oh, I bet. Now, Cody, were you nervous that for the first time ever you were going ass to mouth with a thermometer?
It was an ear thermometer.
Oh, an ear. Okay.
It was an ear. Okay. I should have definitely specified.
Yeah, you should have. Yep. Yeah.
And then, what if this is my whole kink? I staged this whole thing. I intentionally dehydrated myself so I could be like, and now you take the temperature, Cody.
Ooh, hey, Cody, 93.2.
Yum.
K-Rock.
Yum, it's dropping. So anyways, Cody has a really low temperature, and I go, okay, cool, I'm not dying. And then Cody goes to bed. I take a shower, and I just sit up all night trying to fucking, re-regulate. Mm-hmm. That was my intro to to Denver.
Now, with
Fort
all the
Collins.
running water during the shower, did you ever open your mouth and take any in, or?
I did.
Okay.
I drank a lot of water in the
for
meantime.
you.
The cool
proud of
thing
you.
is the hotel had boxed water, so I drank water out of a box.
Salt?
I drank a couple of boxed water.
You do some salt?
I had traveled with some LMNT.
Oh, gotcha.
Some LMNT,
Yeah.
so I threw that in. I drank a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can I tell you some other things about Denver?
Please.
About Fort Collins?
Please.
The first thing that happened when we got there, when I should have been drinking water, is Cody and I went to a grocery store.
Okay.
And
The kind that has boxed water?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. One of those.
So we're in a grocery store, and a guy walks in, and to paint a picture, baggy jeans, tattoos, face peripheral, not front face, but like ear tattoos, flat brimmed hat, some sort of jewelry in his teeth.
Okay.
White man.
Okay. So you can be employed, but it's going to have to be on some sort of phone bank.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
So he walks, we're checking out, and he walks into the front of the store. So registers are here, we're here checking out, and he walks in like right to the front of them. To no one necessarily in particular. He goes, but kind of directed at the cashiers. He goes, "Hey, where the orange juice at?"
Oh, boy, do I already love this.
And if
Now, we're all lucky that I wasn't there. We're lucky that you did get C. diarrhea, C. diphtheria.
that's not what it's called.
Because if I had been there, we'd all be shot.
Oh, miles ahead of you. First of all, one of the 5 funniest things I've heard in a decade.
Hey,
I wear the orange juice at. First of all, what a funny grocery item. The orange juice is not a difficult, it's on the outside in the coolers. Like walk the rim of the store and look for the orange juice. It's in the same place everywhere.
One section of this grocery store keeps things cool.
Yes.
Listen for the humming, motherfucker. Open your mouth and let the humming hit the jewelry in your teeth and let it guide you like true north.
Man, people are going to be so mad when I start talking about this on stage and they hear those punchlines in this story. But like, if he were to go, like, "I where the almond flour at?" You're like,
right.
We get it, man.
Legit question, dude.
You have a dairy allergy and you want to make some cupcakes.
Right.
So now I told Cody I would pay him $1,000 if he waited for the guy to get the orange juice. And then as he was coming back, he met him mid-walk before he got to the registers and very genuinely went, "Hey, young blood, where you get that orange juice at?" Now, I know that seems like it's worth $1,000, but I did have there was a caveat that if whatever the guy said back to Cody, Cody then had to repeat those exact words back to him more aggressively.
I do like that.
So if the guy went, "Who the fuck you talking to?" Cody had to go, "Who the fuck you talking to?" Like, and we just go.
I really love, though, if it was something like he just goes, "Hey, where you get that orange juice at?" And he goes, "Back by the milk." And then Cody has to go, "Back by the milk?" And he's like, "Why are you still talking like that? I'm done with my character. Why are you still doing your character?"
Yeah, I just like that. We've talked about this a lot on the show, but that's my all-time guy. That guy is so funny. And you know that guy's laugh is that, man, last time I went in this bitch, I couldn't even find the orange juice.
You get fucked one time in jail, and that's how you end up talking.
Man, you done dig that dick all the way up in the back of my throat box. So here's I'm just jumping ahead. This is a bunch of, there's not a but therefore in this storytelling.
Okay.
There's just and thens.
Okay.
So we do the Saturday night shows, and then we go back to the hotel.
Okay.
And goddamn, you're gonna love this.
Okay.
We go back to the hotel.
I'll be the judge of that.
We go back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And we walk into the hotel, and it's like 12:30. It's this super swanky, nice little hotel right downtown.
Okay.
And we walk in.
Hey, what a cocaine.
Hey, that's a Okay. That's just a new character. Hey, man, don't you make fun of my voice. So we walk in, and there's like this little cafe restaurant in the hotel, but it's small. It's like kind of like a hipstery cafe with a hotel above it.
Sure.
And there's 3 adult men playing a dice board game. No drinking, not gambling. They're playing a dice board game at like 12:30 on a Saturday night. So that catches my eye because that's some loser shit that Joel and I would do.
Yeah. Is it backgammon?
Yeah, it was not backgammon.
Okay.
And it wasn't left, right, center. I think it was Yahtzee. Okay. I think 3 adult men are playing Yahtzee on a Saturday night. Okay. And so I see that, and I clock it immediately because I go, that seems fun.
And were there dates sitting on the other? I'm just kidding. Dates.
So Cody goes to get a box of water. I go to get in the hotel elevator. I don't know that he needs the water. I just think he's thinking just in case. Right?
Yeah.
He wants to have it on hand if we have another situation. And so he comes back to the elevator and he goes, hey, did you see who that was? Do you know who that is? And I go, what? And he goes, that's the starring cast of Napoleon Dynamite. And I go,
no fucking way.
Yes fucking way.
It was?
It was.
What's that guy's name? John Heder?
John Heder. It was the guy who played, it was John Heder, Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah. It's the guy who, I'm going to blank on their names here, but it was the guy who played.
Don't you dare say Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico's there.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Do you know that he is Laszlo in Real Genius?
Yes. Do you know he's in White Lotus?
Yeah.
Do you know he's like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was Chris Fairbanks' neighbor for a long time.
Really?
Yeah. I can't fucking believe... I would have lost my mind.
Oh, so...
Only because... But here's the thing. I'd have been like, hey, you two. Laszlo, can I talk to you for a second? I have a problem.
Obviously we go over there. So it's Heater, it's Efren, Pedro, and it's Uncle Rico. And I love that movie. I love Napoleon Dynamite. Mm-hmm. I was of the right age to have it be so weird and so different. And my rule is, if there's something or someone who's had some version of an impact, or I've really loved what they made, I'm going to tell them. But I always do it. I try to do it in a non-burdeny way.
Yeah. So I love the biggest thing they spent money on in that whole film was in the credits, the song that played. It was Unskinny Bop.
So we walk over, and I just go, hey, excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry for ruining your night or interrupting your game. Just want to say I love the thing you made. Really appreciate it. It was awesome. Have a great night. And I end it with have a great night, and I think that's important because you completely unburden them. You say that and you walk away.
That's a bookend.
Yep, they go, thank you. And that can be all there is to it. And they took that as an invitation to start a conversation.
Okay.
So they start talking. We're talking with them. They find out that we're comedians. And now we're just all kind of riffing about Fort Collins and talking. And it felt like, it was one of those weird things where you felt like you all worked at the same place, even though you're the greeter at Walmart and they're the CEO.
Sure. It
was really like this. Every single one of them was so unmatchably kind.
Yeah.
And like actually engaged in the conversation, where we were talking about Fort Collins, and I said this thing to them that I'd been saying all week. And the interesting thing about Fort Collins is there's so many men there that look the exact same with their beard and their outdoor gear. And you can't tell if they're busy trying to like breed a new version of mushroom or if they're trying to drag somebody different behind their truck through town. You have no idea. And I said that, and Heater like really cracked up, and like they were funny. It was just this like beautiful, like, I know it must suck to have people always come up to you and say stuff, but man,
I don't think you get to do that. I don't think
I agree with you.
You have recognizability because of something you made that was great. But there are consequences to that. And one of those things is getting your Yahtzee game interrupted. And I know some people are going to disagree, but that is right. It's the Marky Mark paradigm where Mark Wahlberg everyone goes, hey man, you can say hi to him, just don't call him Marky Mark. And it's like, well, fuck you. That's why he's Mark Wahlberg, is because he was Marky Mark. So you have to still be that.
Do you want to talk about what you did in this regard?
No, I don't. I'm not bringing it up for that. I'm just saying.
No, but I want to talk about it.
Oh,
so I'll tell Cody because he doesn't know. Chad was on Conan, and Marky Mark was a guest, and he walked out on stage, and I might butcher it, but he said, I was back there looking for the rest of the Funky Bunch.
I wasn't allowed to say Marky Mark or talk about any of that stuff.
And so he opened, this is back when a lot of comics are watching this, and this is going to be a foreign conversation to them, but this is back when if you got late night sets, that was a really big deal, and you didn't get them very often in your career, and you're not supposed to go off script, and you fucking walk out.
Yeah, I was like, I can't remember what I said, but I go, well, if that wouldn't have happened, I'd still be back there hanging out with the Funky Bunch. And then you see Conan just like look down and shake his head. Because he was the one that told us, he's like, hey man, just so you know, he hates being called Marky Mark. It's like, well, that's part of the thing. It just is.
So we get to meet them. And I've been doing, this is the last part. This is what happened last night that I've been looking forward to telling you. Okay. I got a death threat on Instagram.
It's about time.
That's not the first.
Okay.
But I got one yesterday on Instagram because I've been doing this thing on stage that, let's call it Politics the Musical.
Okay.
And it came out of a riff one day, but it's me. I do a musical number from every political party, including the third parties.
Okay.
It sounds, and as you're hearing this at home right now and you're saying that sounds really like not fun comedy, you're right. But you know, we've talked about this before. I think it's very fun. You do the first one, and everybody thinks you're on a side.
Sure.
And then you do the other one, and they go like, wait, us too? And then the other side is like, yeah, you too. And then you do the third one, and then you're kind of all, it's just a fun, it won't stay in the hour long, but it's just a fun thing to do.
I don't believe that it won't stay in the hour long because I know you like getting, I bet it's fun when the Republicans and the Democrats are like together, and they're like, yeah, fuck the third party.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That's very fun.
That's a fun place to land. And the energy that comes from that, meanwhile, because no one, when people make fun of both sides, they rarely get to the third party. Because if you're somebody who makes fun of both sides, you think, well, you're a third party person. And so what I do, everybody thinks the bit's done. And basically the line is, I go, this next number is from a musical entitled Third Party the Musical. And I just go, why the fuck am I so goddamn weird? And there's a few other lines. But that was right after Robert F. Kennedy's son had tweeted the thing about autism, which please don't message me about this. I don't think that was funny. But the list was undeniably, like, from an abstract. If you were an alien who came down and saw that, it was a very funny list. Like, dark, like, I'm not supporting it, but you're like, they can't play baseball.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, he's like, could somebody put a list of things that humans do in a bingo ball spinner? And then he's like, and they can't ride bikes.
Yeah.
Guys, should we put ride bikes? It was just a funny list.
Well, he also brought up that before the 1930s, autism was not diagnosed. And I saw a very funny meme that said, yeah, and Mount Everest wasn't discovered till 1856, but I fucking bet it was there.
So that was right after he did that stuff and said he wanted to make a national registry for autistic people. And on one of the shows, I just started doing him and like really aggressively. And I don't do good impressions. We know that. I do voices that are within a range, but I just started going, I just want to collect them all. I want to know where they're at. Because that
sounds like the guy from Miracle on 34th
It does.
Street.
It's very Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
It gets to Jimmy Stewart a lot, but that's my favorite part of it. We're like, I want a list of all the autistic people, which isn't an autistic thing to do at all. And I go into this like and you know me, like for those of you who haven't seen my comedy and now never will, I would say what I do is I start a bit and I exhume the goodwill from the room while doing it generally.
Yeah, people that listen to this know. They got it. Yeah, you don't have to explain that.
So there's a part in that where I was like probably one of the nights, and there were a lot of people who were having a good time and some people who weren't. But it gets deep enough where I think I was 3-4 minutes into that voice just going, do you ever wonder when you're looking at the moon if autistic people are looking, like I'm off my fucking rocker. And
do you think people were watching this bit 3 to 4 minutes in and go, God, I wish I had a fucking horrible cramp in my leg for this long versus this? Cody, can you come help me?
And I think, so anyway, I get this message yesterday, which is a while. This guy had sat on it for a while. It's been a minute since we were in Fort Collins. And it just said, well, here, I'll read it.
Oh, we're getting it read to us.
I'll read it exactly. And then you can talk because I've
No, I don't have anything to say.
I know, that's why whenever people are like, why don't you let him talk? It's like, well,
because I show up and he's like, hey, what have you done this month?
Were you here for the pre-show meeting?
I haven't done anything.
So stretch Denver into 40 minutes then?
Please do, and call it Fort Collins because that's where you were.
Thank you. It says, okay, well, I keep bringing that up. Think you're pretty funny making fun of RFK. Go fuck yourself. You don't know anything good about this country, which that sentence, I don't quite know what that means. Shut the fuck up. Be a patriot. Bang, bang, watch your back, which I view as a death threat. Now, I think that's up for interpretation, but bang, bang, watch your threat, your back. Now, I will tell you that throughout the show, I do a lot of finger guns and make gun noises, and I do go bang, bang, and I do a lot of that. So maybe he's on that, but this was not. I went and I looked at his page. It's a death threat.
You do
I know a death threat when one comes my direction.
Anybody that sends you bang, bang, you should immediately reply, tin roof, rusted. Just fucking love shack them.
Bang, bang on the door, baby. There's too many voices in this episode.
I don't think so. This is perfect.
I don't think he got it. I blocked him. But first I messaged back to him and I tried to do it in my bad RFK impression. Oh, I should have done a voice. Now that there's audio. Yeah. But I just sent it back I played the vowels out really long. Like, thank you for the message. So if I'm not here for next week's episode, I don't know, a guy from Fort Collins is good. Here's the thing. I don't have I don't care. I think it's why it won't stay in there. But I do think the adversarial everybody has gotten, and I don't mean this in the way everybody else means it, but everybody is so fucking weak.
Sure.
Like, you don't need to put me on a fucking podcast in Texas for me to be a part of a fucking, but everybody who thinks the other person is weak, just admit you're all sensitive. Can we just admit, as a fucking society, there is no one left. There's no one. There used to be a time, even when you and I were you've been doing stand-up for 3-4 decades longer than me, but there was a time when
70 years.
There were people who, you could make fun of somebody who would get sensitive, and then you'd make fun of them, and they'd be like, good one.
Right.
Those people are fucking dinosaurs. They think they still exist.
Too busy licking their own wounds to get the next joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's nobody left.
It's a lot of dog shit. And the fact that people still like the Kennedy family blows my mind.
Yeah.
And that was a JFK head exploding joke.
I actually don't approve of that.
I don't understand being a patriot.
Do you think maybe it drives your mind into a river with a woman in the passenger seat?
The patriot, you need a flag on the back of your truck.
Yeah.
And you need to understand that they're in politics. They're trying to do something. Mm-hmm. How do you not understand that, Cy? That's what I want to know.
I don't understand that. Should I run for mayor or something?
Did I ever tell you that I got a death threat?
One?
Well, several, but one was in. So here's.
I've seen death threats to you on the Yelp pages of comedy clubs.
Yeah, there's no shit. That's true. If I ever fucking, but I had
say one more word about the Catholic Church, and we'll show you what we do.
Oh, I know what you do.
Shout out to the new American Pope. I'm sure he'll change stuff. Lot of pub on the American Pope.
True.
Yesterday
From
with
Chicago.
No one raising their hand and being like, "Do you think they'll still like move those molester guys around and hide it systematically?"
Well, that's one of the defaults of or the cons of him is that he's not very hard on the molesters.
He's not hard on them. Is that? Did you see a pros and cons list of the different popes?
I did. No, pros just of him.
Oh.
It was like
what's his that on ESPN.com?
He's very good at some things, but he kind of doesn't shed enough light on that. And I don't know.
We're here in the Pope Zone. Scouting report on Cardinal John Francis IV. Some of the pros here, really good with the poor, has supported many nuns throughout the year. On the con side, he does seem empathetic to adult men who were molested as little boys, and we think that'll bring the wrong sort of attention to the church. We'll see if he gets the nod. We'll see if the smoke comes out of the chimney for Francis III.
I like to think of him as a starter. And then they go, we get into the 7th or 8th inning, starting pitcher, 7th or 8th inning, and they're like, okay, well, here we are. Now we're talking about molestation. And they have to go look at the bullpen and go, give me Daniels. And they start playing Wild Thing, and I just trot out. I'm like, all right, guys, hope you're ready for some backwards Ks because there's going to be a lot of looking.
Now, if you're looking for a sleeper pick in this year's Pope draft, look no further than John Paul VIII from Congo. They say he's an option, and he's in that building the smoke will come out of, but let's be honest, he's black, and who knows?
I saw, while they were trying to do this conclave thing, I saw white...
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I'm really disconnected.
White smoke coming out of a different building, and I'm like, God, are they signaling through a fucking like Taco Bell? Like letting everybody know, but I just let's see what happens. I mean, I don't know.
I think. Can I pitch you something? I think we need.
I know
to
you. I don't know why you ask.
I love consent.
Yeah, but that's like going, hey, can I fuck you? I'm in you.
Not quite.
That's exactly right.
No, it's here.
Mm-hmm.
It's here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's time that we move to a Pope smoke method for our president.
Oh, you're saying that?
Here's what I think. I think because I don't know what happens in the Pope cave. Well, let me tell you what's happening in there right now. You've got a lot of elderly men who all are desperate for this moment. Several of them have not fucked in decades. The hunger in this room is bizarre. I'm going to send it over to Daniels over at the desk here. Chad, which one of these? So what I think is...
Back to you, Cy.
We're just all sitting here waiting for that unavoidable moment when someone asks why we can't have a female pope. So a popess, a pope-s? A popestress. I'm calling her a popestress, which
I think
feels misogynistic.
Yeah, I think you'd still have to just say pope.
No, I want a different. I like it. I like comedian.
Well, here's what you would do. You would call her a pope, but you'd put nipples on the P's.
Why was that so funny? God, that was so fucking dumb.
Are we done?
We could be.
How long?
Let me pitch. We're pretty close, but let me get my pitch out.
Okay.
Every state, I think you still have an election, but it's more of a nomination process. Like we have to decide which person is going to be sent to the White House with 50 other people, and then those 50 people in that room, we lock them all in there. And I don't know what happens in the Pope cave, but if it's them and there's other, I don't know who makes a decision, but I like the idea that
everybody does. All the cardinals are in conclave, and they all get one vote.
I love this.
And then if it's not unanimous, then black smoke goes up. And so they'll be like, it's 8 for you, 7 for you, blah, blah, blah.
Are there a nominated group, or is once they walk in there, is every pope eligible?
Every cardinal is eligible.
Cardinal.
And then you go... then
Do you think they make speeches in there?
Yeah, absolutely. And once the voting starts, but I don't think they make speeches for themselves.
I won't say anything about the molestation.
No, I think they go,
old,
like
right?
it would be me, I would go, hey, here's why I think Cy should get it. And then people listen.
Oh, it's like Toastmasters.
Yeah, and then they vote. And then,
So it's Pope Masters.
Then basically, like, if you only got one, people are like, well, fuck that. Whoever voted for that person goes, I better get my shit together and vote. Until finally it is one person.
So it's an interesting combination of the Catholic Church, Toastmasters, and a jury verdict.
Kinda.
Okay, so I love it. And what I think we should do is I think we should move to nominate one person from each state. And here's my rule. They have to be non-politically affiliated at moment of nomination. So like anyone who is like, so you know all those guys out there who are like, I don't give a shit about politics. Like those guys, or you can do it in whatever voice you want. I
just wish you were a patriot.
I think, stop it. I am a good person, and I love it here. Chad.
No, I know. I just wish you were a patriot.
Bang, bang, watch your back. And so I think there's no traceable, like, you haven't been on social media, you've never voted before, you just don't like politics. But you have to like, you know, the state picks a bunch of people and they all have to all make speeches about what type of person they are and how they view the world, right? What they think is good and what they think is bad. Then each state nominates one, right? Mm-hmm. And then they all go out to our Pope Cave, which is the White House, mm-hmm. and they all get in there and they do the same thing. They do Pope Masters in there. And then they send the smoke up, and then I think you do this on television because I think this is like, you got to American sports it. Because because you're no longer rooting for a political party. All the people who are really deeply believe that the Republican or the Democratic Party is going to fix this country, mm-hmm. they like, you don't have a horse in this. We just have like every state tried to nominate their best human and the way they view the world. And so,
man, that's going to be interesting state to state.
It's going to be, and that's what I love about it. It's like Pope Jean Paul in the Congo versus Pope Francis in Italy versus, you know, Pizza Pope out of Chicago, mm-hmm. whatever his name is. Are we calling him Pizza Pope?
I mean, you just did.
So they all go in there.
Pizza.
And the smoke goes up, and then live TV, every channel, viewing parties, the whole thing, White House lawn, the doors come open, and the winner, you do a little bit of the voice. You have a little bit of fucking theatrics, you mm-hmm. know? Maybe you put them in a bunch of chairs. There's 50 chairs, and the one pope turns around, and he comes to them. Something theatrical, and we get to root for our home state.
Well, I just don't like that you keep saying he, but that's fine. I know how you are.
I'm in the vein of popes.
What I think we should do, let me pitch you this.
You're like the guy, no, listen to me. You're like the guy who keeps commenting on our YouTube and blaming me, calling me a Nazi because I didn't leave the sauna with a guy who had a Nazi tattoo. And oh, by the way, fucko, I did leave. But sorry I didn't mention that in the fucking story. You don't get privilege to every part of my life. Fuck, call me a Nazi. You're a Nazi. I've decided that guy's a Nazi. You're listening to me? I quit a gym I liked, and I just didn't feel the need to share it with you, guy in the comments. You're a Nazi. Go ahead, Chad. Take it away. You better watch yourself. Bang, bang.
Tin roof. Rusted.
Hey, if you guys like this, there will be a new episode next Monday and every single Monday at 8 a.m. So click the subscribe button so your phone sends it to you without having to do any work.